Unfortunately, content is going to be heavily regulated going forward, and it means that we are going to get sanitized content a lot of the time, and now we're finding out that the payment processor restrictions are hurting other digital platforms because Manga Planet has had to close over it.
But when it comes to fictional stories, questionable content that makes people uncomfortable when they read, oh yeah, that needs to be censored or removed. But when it comes to actual criminals that are still walking free, and potentially tax money, at least in the United States, is going to paying and allowing these people to walk free, they're oddly enough very silent about it.
In the Bow tweet originally, people saying get ready for the Great Docs of 2026, you know? People saying it's so over, everyone's gonna see how chopped I was when I got my license. You know, Vienna saying I'm taking my passport photo to the grave with me, no thanks, you know?
Inside billionaire Peter Thiel's private lectures, warning of the Antichrist and U.S. destruction. The Washington Post reviewed leaked audio from 4 off-the-record lectures the tech investor delivered in San Francisco over the past month that fused beliefs about religion and technology.
Following Vance's previous employment at one of Peter Thiel's Antichrist firms, I think he calls them, where they do their best to manufacture the Antichrist. He also has close ties with Curtis Yarvin, a fella that believes a CEO dictator should rule the United States of America.
You know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. You should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two...
For what? What do you want Elon to do?
Language. Well, the gaming's competition is not other gaming. Gaming's competition is short-form video.
Yeah.
And so if we as an industry don't continue to innovate...
Sorry, what is your game about? What game are you passionately creating or want to be a part of? Oh, none of it? You just want to be everything around a game that makes money?
Months ago, I had made a video concerning the collective shout situation. I was one of many who sought out to discover the truth behind the decrepit state of anime, gaming, and now the VTuber market itself. Because nowhere and no one in their right mind had the audacity and the courage to say who was behind this travesty. Everyone had tried to expose who it was behind this whole dilemma. But I was the only one who said that there was an even greater entity behind all of this. I was correct in my guess. However, what I was not correct about was the target. Everyone covering this story said it was tech billionaires and governments, and ousted many people. But in fact, they all missed the mark. Every single one of them did. Turns out it was 2 people this entire time. That being the co-founder of PayPal, Peter Thiel, and a surprising alliance by Australia that I did not even expect. Israel turns out just recently in August, the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had turned his back and opposed Israel's misconduct against the Palestinians. However, prior to this opposition, Australia was an unshakable ally to Israel this entire time, that the collective shout was overreaching its authority. Let me put this into perspective. As much as you could argue about Asmongold's viewpoints, he did react to a video regarding Netanyahu's buyout of TikTok, and soon, potentially X. Knowing this information and connecting the dots to what happened in Australia with Collective Shout, it's safe to assume that Israel funded Collective Shout this entire time and not the Heritage Foundation. Although I still think they had some involvement, but not to the extent I had previously presented. Here's an interesting thing when looking at Anthony Albanese's bio on Wikipedia. On your screen is a scrubbed version you would see right now. But thankfully, I managed to capture the unscrubbed version, which now will be shown on your screen. You can now take the time to pause and view this miraculous amount of information. In the age of the internet, where people are so desperate to find the answers now and to be the hero of this entire digital space, time has a way of revealing the truer and most darkest and most powerful enemies of this vast digital age and landscape. I mean, just look at the most recent controversies that got blown way out of proportion without waiting for the evidence to show. The Riley CS scandal, the Hassan Piker shock collar episode, and the Bao and Shanto controversy. You all call yourselves heroes. You call yourselves detectives. Pathetic. Heroes never do what the internet did with those scandals. Only those who so desperately seek validation to their boring lives do that sort of thing. It was quite literally the most disgusting, saddest, and egregious thing I have ever seen on my time in this cyber world. Or how about this lame excuse? I finally get the respect I deserve. Respect? How society has fallen if all of you imbeciles think what you did garner any kind of respect. Here's how you get respect: by talking about something that most games, anime, and VTuber journals failed to either recognize or are too cowardly to, such as the PayPal situation. Which to this day, everyone is clamoring about payment processors to be the culprit of the censorship of games, anime, and the VTubers. Turns out that all this was not done by anyone in MasterCard, Visa, or Twitch. It was this man, Peter Thiel, who I watched a very interesting video by Oompavile about Mr. Thiel. And it was a ton of information that I was not expecting. And I dove way deep into it. Then came the recent update to the Epstein list in November, to which I found intriguing. I was aware of Mr. Thiel and his little friend Curtis Yarman, who as we speak ran like a cowardly little dog with his tail between his legs to Spain of all places. This little chihuahua made a book saying that all who oppose him and Thiel will be disposed of. meaning VTubers, gamers, people of color, and yes, even the entire LGBT community. Kind of ironic that Thiel is also part of that community. From what I gathered from that video from Oompavile, it seems Thiel is in the pursuit to do things that Scientology did many years ago. Only this time is all the focus on the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So let me get this straight, Thiel. You are systematically destroying anime, gaming, Steam, payment companies, and VTubers in order to create a new religion based on the book Lord of the Rings, while using technology as deities. Also, you are to be the new cyberspace god. Is that the direction we're going? Maybe, perhaps, recreating a certain scene in the first movie of The Matrix. What is also interesting is the most recent developments of the Epstein files is not only in September, but November of 2025, which included some very interesting rhetoric about democracy, Egypt, and what appears to be a reference to the Crusades. However, it gets a bit deeper than that. What does Ian William Leonard Osborne, Mortimer Zuckerman, Jess Stanley, and an individual by the name of Jawbone have to do with all this? Here on your screen, I have 2 copies of the emails where you were mentioned, Mr. Thiel. You and the audience could see for yourself. I also took the liberty of making sure that in an attempt to scrub any information would be thwarted by yours truly. I also did a bit of research into these individuals, and those of you watching can actually research these individuals yourselves. Of course, I can't forget about the Allies in the UK. I hear you. I see you. Let this video serve as a blueprint for your investigations. Because it may not be Thiel, but someone associated with him, with similar viewpoints and position. maybe I might just consider opening up the gates of hell and let my amethyst flames run rampant in your country. Truth be told, as days go by, more and more information about you is revealed, Mr. Thiel. It's interesting that in an attempt to prime everyone to your new religion, or maybe conversion to another, more and more of your partners in crime are being discovered as useless beings. Therefore, your plans are falling through as well, correct? As if your plans are not falling through right now as I speak. Your mind is failing you, Mr. Thiel. Your grasp of what is real and what is fiction is driving you insane. You are the most extreme case of Chenibio syndrome I have ever seen. Just like Scientology, Mr. Thiel, your religion or religious conversion will not only be the laughingstock of the people outside your window, but amongst all here on the internet. To all those who have covered stories about anime, gaming, and VTuber censorship, you all tried valiantly. However, the amethyst flames have reached the target you all have failed to recognize. Requiescat in pace.